Hello and welcome to the SmartStream Sibos series, a series of 4 interviews with key SmartStream staff members in their area of expertise. I'm joined by Mark Morris, Head of Sales for Managed Services at SmartStream. And today's discussion will cover SmartStream's response to increased client demand for managed services in the wake of the COVID pandemic. We'll also be looking at how SmartStream differentiates itself from other similar providers in the industry and what clients are seeking from SmartStream right now with respect to managed services. So Mark, welcome and thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good. Okay, Mark, there is little doubt that the popularity of managed services has grown appreciably since the onset of the COVID pandemic in Q1 2020, right? So my question to you then is, how well prepared was SmartStream to respond to the uptick in inquiries from new and existing clients looking to take on either new or else additional managed services from SmartStream as the business? Was it pretty much business as usual from SmartStream's perspective? Do you want to just comment on that as head of sales for managed services at SmartStream?
I certainly wouldn't have called any facet of last year, certainly the early part of last year in Q1 as normal, or BAU. I think COVID hit companies, financial services companies, hard, where I feel a lot of them were ill prepared for the size of the remote working requirements that would bring to various parts of their trade life cycle. And whether it was through their captive organization in their low cost or separate center or a managed service provider, they hadn't accurately or significantly stress tested. So that hurt them. And then that was when they were then looking around to say, okay, who's out there in the domain that has shown a really strong, robust kind of processing capability during the advent of COVID. And of SmartStream obviously we have multi-site capability, follow the sun, accessibility 24/5. And I think that's one of the things that stood us in good stead, and that we were BAU pretty much throughout that.
Okay, let's then talk a little bit about SmartStream and how it differentiates itself in what is a crowded and quite a mature marketplace now. Now, it goes without saying that SmartStream is by no means the only provider of managed services in the financial services industry, and yet it is coped especially well. And speaking to Haitham Kadura, Chief Executive of the business, there has been a significant increase in inquiries from new clients, prospective clients looking for additional services. So my question then to you, Mark, is what are the factors that you believe set SmartStream apart from other similar providers in this space?
I think the key thing is, when you look at the sorts of business that we're getting and winning, when the financial institutions originally set up their own captives or managed service functions, they typically did a lift and shift. So they didn't send it to the receiver with any, well, not many of them, with any concept of making efficiency saves and inheriting state-of-the-art technology and real deep domain SMEs. With us, they get that. So dependent upon which componentry they take, they'll get, if they go for the full-blown managed service, they're going to get absolute experts in reconciliations who understand the SmartStream TLM or Corona solutions in detail. And we immediately start looking at their day-to-day and start understanding where we can drive efficiencies, which equals cost benefit. I think that's a big thing. Our AI and machine learning tools are really strong and targeted at our components again. So we're not spread too thin. We're very much focused on the stuff that we do well. We've got a trusted service provision. Again, going back to your COVID point, having that ability to be lights on, having that real detailed KPI analysis, and we produce monthly packs for our clients where they can see how we've performed, also how they've performed, and that real sort of professional dialogue with them that's a partnership. I also think, again, with the advent of a lot of the cyber issues that various parts of our worlds have seen over the last 18 months, 2 years, having best-in-class cloud security with all the right regulatory accreditations and external audit visits has stood us in good stead too.
Mark, next question to you then is, let's drill down into the demand for managed services and what you're seeing from your clients right now. So do you want to comment on, firstly, what types of capital markets firms are coming to you and saying, listen, we need to offload certain maybe commoditized business processes to you guys to manage because you can do it better than we can and more cost effectively, etc. So typically, what is the archetypical capital markets firm that's coming to you right now and saying, please manage these processes for us? And the second part is, specifically, what types of managed services are they looking to consume, or is it kind of everything is up for grabs now?
Okay, well, it depends who's asking the question. So typically, a lot of our stuff starts with the CIO or tech leads at companies that may be burdened with expensive data centers and old kit, and they want to move they dip their toe in the on-demand or managed service space by moving their stuff, their technology part of their function to us in the cloud. Mm-hmm. That's reasonably easy for us to do, and we have a number of those projects that we've delivered over the past year, and have a pipeline of those ongoing. And the kinds of financial institutions, it varies from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 investment banks, or sort of broker dealers, to a number of buy-side institutions, and insurance companies. And also we're getting into the retail space as well, and with challenger banks, credit card, virtual banking scenarios as well. So that's a really big step for us. And what we would hope is if they move to us on demand, and in some cases it's straight away they want to go into the cloud and full-blown managed service where we actually run not just the technology, but then we actually run the day-to-day for them. And so it could be running their whole Rex life cycle. It really depends on client to client on what their challenges are, whether it's a cost or risk benefit. But yeah, I mean, it's each client's different. We never approach a client that's like, this is how we do it. We have to listen to them and kind of understand what their issues are. But I would say, a lot of them, they're looking to get into the cloud. They're looking to retire expensive legacy architecture, and data centers is one of the big drivers. And then it could be a natural segue if they need it for us to provide a full human resource managed service for the operational part as well.
Good. Okay, Mark, let's look forward now for over the next, let's say, 6 to 12 months, and talk a little bit about what SmartStream might have in store on the managed services front for the year ahead. Is there anything particularly noteworthy that your clients really ought to know about right now from a kind of a managed services perspective? What's on the kind of the agenda or the radar for SmartStream in the immediate future?
What we're looking to do, and we've started this with 2 key clients already, is looking at a much more collaboratively sort of structured partnership, looking very with more spatial awareness across the whole gambit of what we can provide by the various different SmartStream componentry versus what the customer needs. So it could be the segue could be we do on-demand reconciliations for them. That means they get cleaner cash breaks. That means actually we could use your cash management solution as well and get better forecasting, better stress testing, and better kind of intraday liquidity service provision. If they've got clean stock breaks, which we will definitely give them if they give us on demand through our AI and machine learning and SMEs, that gives them a cleaner stock record. That means corporate actions and dividend and coupon event management is cleaner. And obviously with next year, with the advent of CSDR, if it still goes live, reduced number of security fails. Again, we start to join the dots between our reconciliation solution, our cash management solution, our corporate action solution. If all of those things are working well, then collateral management, if that's got clean stock, clean cash, our collateral management solution is also very important to clients. So trying to join the dots, making it a, iterative rather than big bang explosion of work, but making sure the clients understand what we can provide. Also, some clients that they're, over the course of the last sort of 13 years after the financial crisis, a lot of the banks have been focused on mandatory regulatory spend, and they've left their discretion. Well, if they've had any discretionary dollars, they've not had much. So that stuff's become a little bit jaded, a little bit tired. And what we've found is we meet clients that have got a number of either end user data applications that are non-optimal, lots of kind of spreadsheets and manual intensity. With our air product, we can provide very quickly agile, cost reduction, effort reduction solutions, which are self-service. So you can go from one end of the extreme with a big Uber reconciliation solution, working it through the life cycle to ending up with, well, now we're also going to help you be efficient in the interim parts of your life cycle as well. And the key bit of that is everyone's still focused on cost compression and cost reduction. And we believe that just this efficiency drive is a big thing, and it seems to be winning favor when we're talking to our clients at the moment.
Good, interesting times indeed. And thanks for explaining the kind of the joining the dots scenario, because that's absolutely crucial, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing implementing kind of tactical technologies, platform solutions, etc., but having them in an environment where they can talk to one another, they can there is a kind of a seamless flow of information across those platforms is absolutely critical, right?
Yeah, I would say definitely. And you know, as if a risk event happens, having a clear view with all the right technology and dashboards and KPIs that we can provide is a valuable win for the customer.
Good. That's a great point to finish our conversation on, Mark. That just leads me to thank you very much for your time. It's good to see you, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up at some point in the future, preferably person to person, given the fact that it appears that things are kind of normalizing a little bit, fingers crossed. And like I said, hopefully we'll be able to meet up at some point in the future.
Well, that'd be fantastic, Victor. Look forward to it. And thank you ever so much for giving me the time today.
Good. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.